Hey there, East Tennessee. Lucy Hood here with Keller Williams, Smoky Mountains. Just wanted to give you an update this week on home buying. Last week we talked a little bit about the pre-approval process, and we kind of debunked some of the myths that are out there. The next thing that I want to go over with you guys is a little bit of what kind of goes into the financing retrospect of getting you ready to buy a home. So I've got a little slideshow here to go over with you that I'd like you to take a look at, and hopefully you can see that. So Home Buying 101, this is a little slideshow I've put together for a few lunch and learns I've done. So as we talked last week, you want to buy a house, how much does a realtor cost? You don't have a huge down payment, and you don't know how much you can get approved for. Maybe you want to go out and see a house right away. Works a little bit differently than that. The cost of renting versus buying, in case you thought, oh, I'll just keep renting. There's a lot of downsides to renting. It's not yours. You don't have that ownership. A lot of the times, your pets, especially here in the Sevierville market, is a real big problem. A lot of landlords don't allow them. They can raise the rents. I had one client that they actually had to up and move out with hardly any notice just because the landlord's daughter needed a place to live. And so they got shoved out after living there for years and years, and basically had to live out of their car for a little while. So renting, I'm sure, if you're watching this, you probably know renting's not the best way to go. But when you buy, you build your own wealth. Instead of paying $10,000 at the end of the year, you get that $10,000 back in, equity of your home. Also, I can't say it's a good investment because I'm not an accountant. However, homes do appreciate on average overall. So you can watch your money grow most times. But again, I'm not an accountant. And also, real estate is a pretty stable market as well, unlike, stock markets that you see rise and fall. So we talked a little bit about the pre-approval process. You definitely want to reach out to a lender as early as possible. I have a great guy I recommend. His name's Eric Nearing. He works with Element Funding, and you should be able to see his email address right here. A few things that they look at whenever you go to get approved, they want to know your DTI, your debt to income ratio. And that basically is, your income compared to the amount of debt that you pay out every month. If you have rough credit, the best way to make sure that your credit goes up exponentially is only use 25% of your maximum limits over all of your cards. So if you're approved for $100 on one card, don't ever put any more than $25 on it. Or if you do, make sure you pay it down to at least that. And you'll see your credit score grow from that. Another thing you can do is, let's say that your parents have really good credit. They can actually make you an authorized user on their credit cards. And if they're worried about you spending it, they don't even have to give you the card. But just with you being an authorized user on somebody with really good credit can boost your scores, 30 to 50 points sometimes. Let's see what else. And make your payments on time. Of course, if you are late, that's going to ding your credit big time. So there's that. And then the last thing I want to go over today with you guys is the different home buying loan programs that are out there. Of course, cash is always king. Oh, let me go back here. Back. Aha. Cash is always going to be king, right? Whenever you make an offer on a house, the seller is always going to accept a cash offer over any type of financing offer, mainly because there is, there's no strings attached. When you have more money, you have less problems. The second type of financing that they typically are going to want you to go with is going to be conventional. Conventional loans are really strong to a seller and grant you more chance of getting an accepted offer because of the conventional loans. They don't have a lot of strings attached. They don't have a lot of guidelines. Now, most people, they can't put, 20% down, or, even 10% is a lot in most cases. So that's why the Federal Housing Agency has issued a few loan programs to help out first-time home buyers, or even we have even more to offer to veterans and even in rural areas. So first one I want to talk about, Tennessee Housing Development Agency. That is our state agency for housing. I'm not sure if they have any money until the spring, maybe around April, that they will have more money in that account. But basically what the state of Tennessee does is they put a pool of money, let's say it's $1 million, and they can help you as a down payment assistance up to $15,000 so that you don't have to pay back so long as you live in the house for 10 years or more. What that means is basically they'll help you with the down payment, and you might have to pay it back if you move sooner. And, sometimes, you can even get out of paying it back if you live there long enough, or, just depending on your specific financial situation, your lender will be able to tell you a whole lot more about this. The next thing I want to talk about is USDA. That is, anytime you hear USDA, you think of USDA grade beef or, organic, you think of farming, right? United States Department of Agriculture. And basically what this is it is a federal program that will allow you to have 100% financing, meaning you don't have to have any money down, zero money down, so long as it meets certain requirements. Now, one of those requirements I'm going to show you right here is that it has to be in a certain area. So, whoop. Oh, man, darn it. Sorry about that. Let's keep on sharing the screen. Share. There we go. Okay, so I'm trying to get this little button out of my way to get to USDA. There we go. So with USDA, if you just type in USDA eligibility, it should pull up USDAloans.com. That's not what we want. We want the one ending in .gov. Okay, you click on that, click on single family housing guarantee, and this website here has a lot of good resources for you. It has some of your guidelines. There's even rural business loans that are out there. Lots of good stuff here. It has your income limits. The only thing with this USDA is not only does it have to meet a certain area criteria, but you also have income limits and credit limits. And again, this is something that your lender will go over in great detail with you and decide what's best. But just kind of a general idea for you guys, we're going to hit accept. And let's type in an address here. So let's say 2263 Middle Creek. That's Sevierville, Tennessee. We're going to hit enter. And it says this address is located in an eligible area. And in case you're not looking in Sevierville, just about all of Sevierville is USDA okay as far as area is concerned. But Knoxville, anything that's in yellow is not in a USDA area. I like to call this little strip here between the river and I-40, I like to call this right here my honey hole. I think it's Ball Camp Pike is the deciding line right here. And Hardin Valley, but there's Ball Camp Pike. This little area right here is great. It's up and coming. It used to be a little bit farmy and rural, but now it's becoming, neighborhoods and subdivisions all over the place, and they're 100% financing. Great thing for you to have there. And so back to our slideshow here, we did USDA, last one is FHA. So with FHA, that is a first-time home buyer. Most of the time you want to have 3.5% to put down. And again, there are a lot of good resources. If you go to HUD.gov, that's the Housing and Urban Development, it will give you all sorts of resources on kind of what an FHA loan is, what it looks like, a whole lot of good information on buying your first home. And then if you need immediate advice, they've even got a phone number for you to call, a 1-800 phone number. But I prefer you call me because, they might kind of give you not necessarily always helpful answers, but with me being in the thick of it here down in the mud, boots on the ground in this area, a lot of the times I can answer a lot of FHA questions. And then lastly, the two other loans that I want to talk about, I already talked about conventional, but veterans. If you're a veteran, thank you for your service. But also with a veteran loan, you will get 100% financing. There's a few forms that you need, like your DD 214. I know that's definitely one. Your lender is going to ask you for some more, but so long as you have that DD 214, you should be golden. And veteran loans are probably one of the best loans out there, because I guess, we like to take care of our veterans. So, well, awesome, guys. Well, that's all I've got for today. Next week, we're going to get into the exciting stuff, taking a look at houses and kind of what it looks like to go on your first home search. If you guys have any questions or anything I can do to help, again, my name is Lucy Hood. I work with Keller Williams Smoky Mountains right here in downtown Sevierville. My number is 713-504-2535. If you ever need anything at all, I'm here to help. And I look forward to hearing from you soon. Let me know if you have anybody thinking about a move. And I'll talk to you guys later.